Well, to discuss all this, I'm joined here in the studio by Matt Cooke from the cybersecurity company Proofpoint, and from Atlanta by Sherrod DeGrippo, Director of Threat Intelligence Strategy at Microsoft, and once named Cybersecurity Woman of the Year, no less. Sherrod, respect to you. Now, we've just been hearing and seeing how scammers are actually using the Microsoft name to scam vulnerable people, and I'm wondering how you feel about that.
I think it's terrible. Obviously, it's frustrating, heartbreaking. I really feel for these victims. Seeing that's awful.
So what's Microsoft actually doing to stop the scammers?
Well, as cybercriminals continue to elevate their tactics, change what they're doing, find new unsuspecting victims, Microsoft continues to combat them. One example, in the UK, where Microsoft collaborated with the National Trading Standards, it resulted in jail time for perpetrators. These were money launderers who were jailed for over £1 million in fraud. We also joined forces with Amazon and the Central Bureau of Investigation, so that's the federal enforcement agency in India, to combat tech support fraud. We had illegal call centers raided by CBI, and these were call centers that had been set up to impersonate both Microsoft and Amazon customer support. So we've had some success.
Yes. Matt, your company, Proofpoint, helps companies to enhance their own cybersecurity. But when you're dealing with scammers who aren't trying to hack into their system, but rather impersonate them, it's a whole different ballgame, isn't it?
It is. And whilst there are some technical controls that businesses can adopt to stop themselves or to limit how they're being impersonated online, it's almost impossible, unfortunately, for them to eradicate completely.
Well, David, in the report, talked about the tip of the iceberg. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, brand abuse isn't just limited to phone calls. It also takes place on emails, on text messages, and all the other communication methods that we have. But it's a favourite tactic for the criminals for phishing and for malware delivery across email. You know, interestingly, we saw Microsoft and their own brand being impersonated with over 68 million messages over 2023. And in fact, we ranked a number of these big brands throughout the year, and with Adobe and DHL completing the top three with around about 10 million each as well.
And if you are an unfortunate person who thinks that they've given a scammer remote access to your device, what on earth do you do?
You should reset all of your passwords if you have any suspicion that any of them have been compromised. And then once you get the device back up and running, look to remove any recently installed software that you have, run a complete security scan on the system, and perhaps even consider a factory reset and start again from fresh. But if you need any assistance, and reach out to a known local IT expert, someone that's friendly. Definitely don't go searching online looking for an IT expert to assist.
And Sherrod, from your point of view, how can people ever really know it genuinely is Microsoft on the end of the line, or an email or a text message?
That's a great question. Microsoft is not going to send unsolicited email messages. They're not going to call you. They're not going to ask for personal information, financial information, or try to provide unrequested tech support to you in these ways that these fraudulent scammers do. And if you have been contacted by someone that claims to be from Microsoft or is associated with Microsoft, you think it's a scam, please let us know. You can go to Microsoft.com/report-a-scam, and that allows us to collaborate with investigations, the public sector, law enforcement. We compile all of those together, investigate them, and stop them when we see them.
Well, Sherrod, thank you very much, and Matt too.